Hi, I'm Lewis Greenwood and I currently study at Oldham Sixth Form College. Now, why do I want to study film production? Well, all my life I've had a massive passion for film. I spend most of my spare time watching films. It's what I enjoy doing. And from a young age, I'd obviously just watch the films visually and just enjoy them that way. But as I've got older, I've begun to respect how the film's made. So I try and study on how each film is created. So obviously I watch the special features and see how the director's input on a scene, the writer, and even by books. Like one of my favourite films of all time for me is The Dark Knight Rises. Obviously I'm wearing the t-shirt for The Dark Knight Rises, and I was so obsessed with the film and how it was filmed, the locations. I even bought the book, The Making of the Dark Knight Trilogy, and I've read it twice because it's just brilliant. It just gives me an insight on how they created certain elements, like in the second film, in The Dark Knight, how they created Harvey Dent, the Two-Face sort of style. I always wondered how they did shoot scenes like that, and obviously they're using makeup and green screen style. It was really interesting for me. So if I was to go on this course and do film production, I probably would enjoy being about the special effects team, but I'm also quite interested in the cinematography and even directing. My strongest attribute, my strongest attribute for me definitely is my imagination. I'm probably too imaginative and too creative sometimes. I kind of let myself go and go off on a mad journey, and sometimes when I'm working with people they get a bit annoyed, oh Lewis, I can't do that, that's too big scales, no, never. And I do drama, and when I'm writing scripts for them, 'cause I like to write a lot, the way I come up with most of my ideas is with music. Now, I'll listen to a lot of Two Steps from Hell, which are two composers, Thomas Bergson and Nick Phoenix, who do scores for TV trailers and stuff like that. And when I listen to music like that, it just lets my imagination run wild. So when I'm walking down the street listening to their music, I was all of a sudden listening to To Glory. Then also I can just imagine a dragon flying across, which is quite creative, and it helps me to imagine how a scene could be put together. So I am very creative. My biggest inspiration, there's too many for my inspiration. Up there would be Peter Jackson, the Hobbit. His vision of that was just amazing. The year it was made, and Joss Whedon, especially because he's not just a director, he's also a writer, producer, actor, editor. He does a bit of everything, and that's what I'd want to be. I wouldn't want to just nail myself down to one specific thing. I would be happy to learn just about one aspect, then I'd be well, can I learn a bit about this? So if I was to become a director or a writer or something, I could say, well, can I help out with your editing while you're here? So I'd help out, and I'd like to be part of everything. I'm one of those sort of people who wants to be in and out and everywhere. I was asked to make a 10-minute film with no budget, which I've kind of made something. As you probably can see on my film reel, the trailer I made, that was made with more or less no budget. If I was a chance, I would have probably preferred to have actually done a scene for that. And so if I was asked to make a 10-minute short film, I probably would take an aspect of that. Because you saw, I'm quite okay, I won't say the best, but at martial arts. And so I'd probably do a scene like that. I'd probably put emotion to it. I'd have more characters. I'm quite a big fan of an ensemble as well, an ensemble cast. So if I had a chance, I'd probably have loads of extras, quite chaotic. Also at the moment I've got to make a horror trailer. So I'd probably like to work a bit on that as well for a 10-minute short. My most memorable film scene, definitely from The Dark Knight Rises, the first fight between Bane and Batman. Now, that scene for me just outlines how such a great director Christopher Nolan is. The convention for a film, for a fight scene especially, is to score it. And with The Dark Knight Rises, the entire film's scored beautifully by Hans Zimmer, but then this one scene between Batman and Bane, there's no score to it, it's just the fight and just the scene that's going on, which is something I found really interesting because I'm used to obviously watching a film with a score to it, and there was such an impactful fight, it was so brutal that it worked brilliantly. Like you could hear each punch, and it weren't like over exaggerated in any way or form. It was raw and real, and it kind of like, because with Batman they kind of tried to make him with Nolan's series really real and gritty. With the score, obviously it keeps that, but with that one scene, it just made it so memorable for me, and that scene will probably stay with me for the rest of my life. A big moment in my life. That's wow. Sorry, describe a memorable moment. Things in life had a big impact on me. A big memorable moment for me would probably be the first time I watched Star Wars, the original Star Wars, because I think I was something about 8 or 7 years old, and it was on VHS, the good old days. And I remember watching it, and even though the CGI wasn't the best, the script was just brilliant, and it was one of my dad's favourite films. And he told me when I was young, he was like, "You seem to be into sci-fi. Oh, look at this one, Lewis." So I watched it, and it was just one of those moments where that was probably one of the moments I wanted to get into film, because it was so memorable to me. And another quite memorable moment will be the first time I was actually on a film set. Because I'm an actor, and I've been in an independent film for Green Screen Productions, and it's called The Knife That Killed Me. And it was the first time I'd ever been on a film set, and it's completely filmed in green screen, so it wasn't like I didn't get a chance to go onto an official film set, inside a sound studio, or all these crazy sets being built. But just even being there, the experience, seeing the cameras, the real raw cameras, because you never get a chance to be up close to them, and I was so tempted just to ask her to have a quick go, but obviously I had to keep it professional and do. But from that moment there, I was like, I want to be a part of a team like this. Hope you enjoyed my interview.